Hello everyone, I'm back today with a new Daphne's Diary project. Now in the last video I asked you what you thought about me carrying on in the journal that I started in December. This cover has got very much a Christmas vibe and I wasn't sure whether to carry on with this. I had planned on doing more pages and just didn't get round to it in December. So what I've decided to do, and thank you for all of your comments as well, it was pretty unanimous actually. I'm going to park this and we'll pick it up again next November, December time, sort of nearer the Christmas season, and I'm going to start a new one using the cover of issue number 1 2024. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think this can carry us through the rest of the winter months and into spring as well, because this cover is so pretty. So let's get started. Let's make a new journal. Of course, I always make them from the covers of the magazine. I just think this one is so pretty. And I have ummed and ahed over what to do with this. Do I use just the front or do I use the front and the back? But I've decided I'm going to use the front today. So I'm just going to tear this off. I know that some of you just can't bear the thought of me doing that, but there we go. It's done. And I just need to cut this to size. What I will do actually is fold this in half so that we can see what we're playing with, and then I shall take this off to my paper trimmer and just neaten up all of the edges, and then we need to insert a spine. I've cut my front and back cover, so this is going to be the front and then this will be the back, and then these are the inside, front and back covers. Before I do anything else, there's a couple of bits and pieces that I want to cover up. I've cut into Daphne's Diary across the top here, so I want to cover that up, and I also want to cover the barcode as well. I haven't really done that in the past, but I don't know, I'm going to do it this time. And I have found a page in the magazine with a beautiful border, so I'm just going to chop some pieces off this. You see, I only need a small piece here. There's nothing on the back that I'm going to destroy, so I'm just going to cut a piece that is the right length. Let's just mark this with a pencil. So I'll just use scissors to cut this out. Here we go. We've got some here. So let's do this. I don't want to cut into my beautiful Monet drawing though. So just being a bit careful, leaving myself a bit of a border because I might use that for a journal page. I don't know yet, but I think that's big enough to cover that up there. And pattern wise and color wise, I think it goes really well. We've got the torps in the banner here as well, so we can use that. So that's covered that up. I've got an idea as well for this barcode here. I want to use a piece of this, and I've got another idea as well. There's a paintbrush on the other side. In fact, it's probably going to be easier if I take the page out. I just want to cut out this paintbrush, and I think I'm just going to put that across there like that. On the back we've got this pot of paintbrushes, so that fits really well. So let's cut this down just to make it easier, and then I'm going to use a piece of this text here to cover up the barcode. So let me just go ahead and fussy cut these out, and we'll do that as well. I've fussy cut my bits and pieces out. So I've got the paintbrush, which I'm going to glue on here. And then I've got my piece of text as well, which I'm just going to stick on to cover up that barcode. And I'm toying with the idea of maybe doing some stamping over this as well. It depends on whether I can find a stamp that's small enough. Let me see what I can do. I think the paintbrush looks fabulous, really happy with that. And I think I've found a stamp as well. I've got this set here. And I'm just wondering, this one here is too small, but I'm wondering whether I could use either of these two, which I think go with the theme. Of course, we've got these white images on the right hand side on the border. Which one do I want to use though? Oh gosh, I think we'll go for this one. Let me just peel this off and stick it to a stamp block. I've used that one there before, haven't I? In fact, would that one go better? Because of course we've got these leaves up here. I think I'm going to use this one. So I've got my embossing stamp pad. Let me just put a piece of deli paper under here just to protect my surface. Let's just apply plenty of ink. I ought to use my embossing buddy, hadn't I? Hold on. I'm just going to remove any static and stop the powder spreading everywhere. So let's just make sure I've got plenty of ink again. And how do I want this to go? Maybe here like this. Let's just let that ink grab, and then I've got some white embossing powder. So let's just pop some of this on. And I think that's going to be the fabulous finishing touch. So I'm just going to heat set this with my heat tool. There we are, that's covered up those ugly bits that I didn't like. So we've got the piece at the top and then the barcode at the bottom. I love how that's turned out. So the next step is, so let me just make sure that I've got this right. We need to add a spine, and I've cut 2 pieces of 300 GSM cardstock, craft cardstock. It doesn't really matter what you use, and that will create my spine. And I've cut this to 1.5 centimeters. I'm just going to glue these 2 pieces together. I'm just going to use art glitter glue for that. So let's apply plenty on here and make sure that we've got these well and truly stuck. Let's stick these together. I've cut these to the same height as my journal, and as I've said, at 1.5 centimeters in width. So this should be the right size. I think I'll weight that down underneath a heavy book for just a couple of minutes or so, just to make sure that that glue grabs. These are now glued together, and of course I need to find a way to secure this to my journal. I've got this beautiful sage green burlap here, which I think colour-wise is perfect. So I'm going to use this. I've given it a quick iron as well, just to make sure that everything is flat. And the easiest way, I think, to do it is to apply glue to your spine and attach this to the fabric. That way you get it completely straight and aligned and central. So I'm just going to apply glue all over this, and you don't want too much glue when you're doing this as well, because you don't want it to seep through to the fabric, which will leave marks. So you want enough, as you know, to make sure that you're holding it securely in place, but not so much that it seeps through. And I'm just going to stick this down. And again, I'm just going to weight this underneath a heavy book, just making sure that I've got that in the right position. You can see I'm a bit off centre there, so let's just rearrange that a tad. I think that will do fine. This has been weighted down now underneath a heavy book, so I just need to trim off this bit at the bottom. Let's just get rid of that for the time being, and then I need to attach this to my spine, and this is where you need to be careful. You need to make sure that you've got your covers the right way round, and bring in the parchment paper again, and what I'm going to do is just apply some glue. Let's start off on the right hand side. I'm going to be really light-handed about this, because I don't want it to seep through to the other side of my fabric. We might get a tiny bit of seepage, and you know, there's nothing we can really do about that. And then let's apply this, and you need to leave a gap of about maybe 2 millimeters, because otherwise it will make your journal really hard to close. So I'm just going to press this down now. I'm going to do exactly the same to the other side, and then just weight this down underneath a heavy book again. That's the first side of the spine glued down. Pretty good. I've got a couple of patches of bleed through. There's one here, but not too bad. I'm hoping that once that's dried as well that you won't be able to see it. I'm just using my nail now just to make sure that that's all glued down really well. Then lift up either end and just make sure that you've got enough glue right on the edges. I can see that I need a bit more here, not too much. Don't overdo it, but we'll just glue that down. Check the other side as well. Again, it's just on this part here. So let me just pop that to one side and then flip this over, because what I want to do next is apply another strip of this beautiful fabric on the other side. And because I've left an overhang, it means that I can match these two up as well. So let me just cut some off, and I'm just going to apply glue over one of the sides of these, so all the way down. Again, trying not to overdo it. In fact, it might be easier if I have it this way round. This is a little bit fiddly, but you know, I can't stress enough, just try not to add too much glue. I've got my glue on, as you can see, so let's just lift this up. And for anybody who's wondering why I choose to use art glitter glue as opposed to 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac, I just find that I get less seepage with art glitter glue, and it's much more forgiving than I do when I use Fabri-Tac, which I think, you know, maybe it's because it comes out quicker. I don't really know. Now you can see the marks here, but you know, that will dry. Again, I'm just going to weight this down under a heavy book. So the next thing I want to do is use my corner rounder just to round off my corners, because I want to add some protectors, some metal corner protectors, and I just find that by doing this it just makes them easier to apply. Now I'm using these ones here. I'll leave the link to these in the description box below, because I always get asked about these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they come in a pack of oh, these were 100. So, but as I've said, you'll find the details in the description box below. And just by rounding the corners, because these are rounded as well, it just makes them easier to glue on. So what I will do is just add a tiny amount of glue. You don't need much at all. You don't want it seeping out of the edges. Let's just add a small amount here. I'm just going to pop this on, and then I've got my jewellery pliers here, and I'm just going to gently, very, very gently squeeze them down, and I'll do this on all 4 corners. My journal cover is finished, and I'm really happy with how this has turned out. So that's the front, that's the back, and inside front and back cover. I love this paisley design. I've got a tiny bit of staining, but nothing major, and as this dries then hopefully you won't be able to see it. Now we need to add our signatures. As far as these signatures are concerned, I want to add some fairly plain papers. I've got these 2 blue pages here. These were pieces that I picked up from the scrap store many years ago, and these are card inserts. I don't know whether you can see, it says here by Chase, which is a card design here in the UK. So I want to use a couple of these. I've also pulled out some scrapbooking papers. I may or may not use these. I've got some plain papers here. I just want to keep it fairly neutral rather than using the pages from the magazine itself. I've got some scrapbooking papers here from the Daphne's Diary paper box. I think this is still available. I got it free with a magazine subscription from Daphne's Diary many years ago, but I'll leave the link if I can find it in the description box below. I've got a couple of booklets of papers here, so I might use some of those. And I do also want to use this part here of the poster. I really like the top part, and I think that's fairly neutral where it says Hello Winter, so I might use that. I've also got some envelopes as well, which match absolutely perfectly with the colour scheme. So I might use some of these and make those into pages. I've also got some writing paper. This is Verger de France. This is beautiful quality writing paper and has the most beautiful texture. So I might use a couple of sheets of that. And I've also got some coffee stained paper as well. So I'm going to go off now and have a play and put a couple of signatures together. And once I've done that, I'll come back and show you what I've decided to use. I've chosen the pages that I want to use for my signatures, and I'll give you a flip through in a second. What I want to do first is show you how I'm going to bind these in. I'm going to be using this thread here and do my usual method of a loose leaf binding, meaning that I'll be able to take the pages in and out. I've got 2 signatures, so let me do this. 1, not too tight, 2, and then let's have a look. I just want to make sure that this is about a similar length to the other one, so I'm just going to cut this off. Where have my scissors gone? And then all you need to do, let me just move these out of the way for the time being, is just, so I've cut my strings. I'm just going to cross this over, put one underneath and tie myself a knot. Doesn't need to be too tight. And so now on the other side, I've got 2 signatures. And so let's find the middle of both of these. I'm just going to pop one in here. This is a 3-strand string. You can use a single strand if you want to, but I just thought this looked interesting. And then let's find the middle of this one here as well. They're both different. I'll give you a flip through of the signatures in a second. So that's my signatures inserted. It doesn't get any easier than this. And then what I think I will do is just add a bit of detail just to the bottom of my dangles. I might just scooch this up a bit as well, just so that it's a bit higher. Now, all I did to move it a bit higher was just to untie my strings and just tie the knot just a bit higher up. I'm much happier with that placement now. I've also cut the ends off as well so that those are even and neat. Can you see that the strings are pretty much flat like that? Now, anybody who's followed me for a long time will know that I like to use this daisy trim. I've got this blue one which is just going to work perfectly, and I've cut myself off 4 daisies, 2 sets of 2. So I'm just going to use this to make myself a little decorative dangle. I like these because they're nice and flat. Let's find the wrong side. That's the right side. This is the wrong side, and this is where I'm going to add my glue. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for this, and the reason being that I found in the past that art glitter glue doesn't work as well. No, I haven't used this for a long time. Is it going to play ball and come out on me? Yeah, here we go. It's coming. So just apply a little bit of glue on each side, and then we can just sandwich this in the middle. Because I've got 3, this is a bit more tricky. Sandwich that in the middle and then use a clip, some kind of clip, a bulldog clip, whatever you have on hand, just to secure that in place until the glue is dry. Let me give you a flip through of my gorgeous journal. I think this one might be my favourite yet as far as the cover is concerned. I think it's beautiful. Love the daisies, just love how flat these are, so that it just makes working in the journal really, really easy. So let me show you what I decided to choose for my signatures. I chose this paper here. I just love it. I love the texture of it. Decided to add a doily. This paper here, which was from the Daphne's Diary paper box, a smaller piece of that sheet, the blue writing paper, even smaller piece from that blue paper. Just love these ruffled frayed edges as well. Lined paper, another piece from the Daphne's Diary paper paper box. So, you know, this one is much plainer than ones that I've done in the past. So that is the first signature. Second signature, I've started it off with the same piece of blue, another piece from the Daphne's Diary paper box, another doily. Just look at the design on this as well. We've got this beautiful sort of like vine design. I love that. Very, very thin, but you know, I just think it worked beautifully. This was one of the pages, the scrapbooking pages from the magazine itself. And then here we are, the rest of the pages. And then an envelope to finish off. Now, I haven't secured this. All I've done, let's see if I can take this apart. I've just popped the two envelopes together. I'm not going to secure these in place just yet until I decide how I want to use it. But, you know, it's holding firm. And so that's it. Now, I just want to finish by saying you can see how loose my spine is on the side. And that's because I'll be adding, you know, lots of papers to these. I've kept the pages plain because I just like the idea of using the magazine itself to choose the images that I want to use, and decided to go for a much plainer design this time round. I think it's really good to mix it up, isn't it, and try new things. So, you know, make sure that you don't, if you choose to use this signature method, don't tie it too tight. And so that is my journal for for the beginning of 2024. So, of course, last week I announced that I was going to be doing a giveaway. Daphne's Diary very kindly gifted me a set of 3 of these beautiful journals, a diary, a bullet journal and a travel journal. Somebody asked me last week what they were like inside. Just plain lined pages, so that's the diary. This is the bullet journal, which is dotted pages. They're just absolutely beautiful. And the travel journal is lined as well. But I went out and purchased 2 further copies of the magazine as well. And so the first winner will receive the diary and a copy of the magazine, and the second winner will receive a copy of the magazine itself. So let me put you out of your misery and announce the winners. So, first prize, which is a copy of the magazine and the diary, is going to Sophie Simply For You 572, who is based in Australia. So, Sophie, if you can send me an email with your address details, I'll leave my email address in the description box below. So, you know, contact me, and I'm allowing a window of 3 days for winners to get in contact with me. And if I don't hear from you, then I'll do a redraw. So Sophie, congratulations, that is your prize. So prize number 1. And then second prize is going to Carol Easter 5270, who's based in the United States. You will get a copy of the magazine. So congratulations to both of you. As I've said, you'll find my email address in the description box below, so contact me ASAP and I will get these prizes off to you in the next few days. So I'm leaving the video here. I'm so inspired by this journal. I love the cover. I think it's beautiful. I love the neutral pages with these beautiful blue tones. And, you know, I can't wait to get this party started. So I hope some of you will follow along with me. Perhaps we should set a hashtag Nina Ribena DD, perhaps, so that if you want to share your pages and ideas, that you can follow along with me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc, etc. That just leaves me to say, if you've enjoyed today's video, as always, I'd very much appreciate a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.